So if she had to try and borrow money for a good cause and she decided to ask mom or dad to help, she's going to run into some restraint or get less than expected or conditions around it, which she's going to want to revolve from, so she probably wouldn't take it. But that's there. In a marriage, the seriousness of who's spending what becomes an important issue. With her Mercury Neptune, it's probably a good idea to have her own bank account, not share the bank account, so she has her own resources and isn't told how to have to spend them. But that's a conservative social conscience. There's a need to accomplish something, to help someone where there's an inadequacy, to do things in spite of there not being that much funds. Okay, now the 9th house is your understanding. So Saturn is Aquarius. So you think unconventional. No, Saturn, Aquarius is not that radical. It's not that unconventional. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. It's strategic and planning. So when it comes to philosophy and principles, she comes out of a very conservative philosophy area, conservative understanding, conservative religious area, conservative spiritual outlook. And she has a basically cautious outlook, but her temperament is to not put up with that very cautious element. So the Saturn that rules the 9th house is in the 9th house in the sign it rules. So there's a strong, proper sense of what's dignified and what's not, how responsibility should be or shouldn't be. If someone's done something right or wrong, a good judge or a bad judge, she would be sensitive to that. It's not afflicted. It's just she knows how serious things can get as more people mind your business or start telling what you do. And if they're not just, she would have an intolerance to it. If they are, she could probably have the patience to deal with it. In the end, she'll have all the things she has to write on. They're like the branches and the leaves of the tree, and the roots are upside down, in having some discipline that she believes in. So astrology as a discipline. A lot of people say Uranus is astrology. I think Mercury, it's a Raja Yoga. It's a yoga of the mind, Mercury. But if anything, we're dealing with time, measurements of time, how long something happens, and we're giving responsible or conservative advice. So to me, astrology is much more Saturnine than Uranian. It's different than how we're brought up. In that way, it's radical. It's exciting, but it's respectable. So her ability to do things, write books, things, make astrology respectable is fairly high, but it'll have to be done in her own creative style. When it comes to, so we have the career multiple choices. What's going to happen? Jupiter rules. If I find work that I understand or I believe in, that would work well. The Jupiter's in the 11th house. I don't want to be isolated sitting in a cave. I want to be, if I have there, I want to have some friends and some people and have some socializing around the work. The 11th house of friends and social extensions are friends and acquaintances, and friends and enemies really. Is Aries in the 9th house. She wants to do things with friends. She wants to go do things. Jupiter's there in that house. So there's abundance of friends. There's always things to do. That's the Aries. I got to do this. I got to do it. But the Aries, we do this with the friends. All the demands of friends challenge the time she needs for herself. The Mars down in the 4th, conjunct the Moon. There's no really big bad aspects to this, so she's just going to have an enthusiasm. If someone's going to challenge something or play chicken, will you do this? She's going to want to prove things and use her Mars. Be active with friends. Don't want to go sit, not necessarily sit in a couple. Just go do something. Let's go bike ride. Let's go climb something. Let's go do something. That's a strong thing. So if she were taking a hobby of a martial art, or bike riding, or dancing, she would have a bunch of friends to do things with. Okay. So the Taurus on the 12th house cusp is an interesting puzzle here, because the 12th house, it's really, when you project out, you don't know whether someone's a friend or enemy. If you smoothly say hi, you don't know if someone's good or bad. It's the house of things that says it's old karma, it's things not dealt with, things are isolated or confined there. But also things are transcended there. So there's a transcendence that can solve that. There's a need for an inner dedication, but there's a tendency, that's the area where you don't exactly fit in. Taurus there, it means we saw so many accentuations on Venus, on talents, and on resources, but here there's a tendency she might be very talented, and it's possible she's not respected for her talents, or she's not paid for them, or something happened. There's a shadow here on this. So she has to use her mind to get past it. But the Venus ruling that is down in the second house. That's why I think maybe she doesn't get paid enough for her art, or she doesn't believe it. She has the values, she doesn't always believe in them enough herself. But it's strong in her chart. She has to go with it. So maybe it's just other people. She attracts the envy of other people. And that could be the negative side of the Taurus in the 12th house, the envious, the not getting what I want, or other people's not responding as nicely as they could. But even if they don't, if someone responds not as nicely as they should, it's going to come around and affect her, and she's going to be fixing. She's going to try to super impress people, but may not always get the reaction she expects. Okay, so this is pretty well a good round. Like, we've covered enough dimensions, we've seen a few things. We pulled in the moon march, we talked a bit about Mercury and Venus. We didn't deal with the other planets so much right now, but we've got a fairly good sense. Like, the only thing is there's a bit more work doing each of the planets and taking a bit more time. So to do a thorough natal interpretation and to try and talk it out to someone, you're in for 3 or 4 hours, not 2. I've talked continuously for 2 hours without getting feedback to talk about this and to put it out basically so you can see, you have an example of someone making the associations and talking chart and what's common sense, what's not. And you begin to align it and you have at least a standard to compare against. You'll do it yourself. It's just enough to take the steps and it'll take care of it. This is the point where the foundations of astrology anchor in. This is your boat to travel across the ocean of life where you can see how a person's going to navigate. So in my examples, I may have imagined certain things that weren't exactly, she had other choices or other idiosyncrasies, but it's close enough to see how that would apply. And you want to make connections of everything you see in a chart to something in a person's life. So do it for your own, you've done it for you. You're not the hypocrite talking about things you haven't done for yourself. And you'll get close enough. And at any one of these points, the other person, as soon as you're in there, they're going to want to talk about it. Oh, it's not like that. So either people will be doing it exactly, or often they be exactly opposed and they're negating their own energy. And then you have to work to say, well, you're probably supposed to do it this way, or it might work better this way. You know, in which case you're reorienting someone to align to their own pattern. Because if we align to the pattern of the gods, the planet, the pattern of planets, we can elevate our natures to be more divine and to even assist the gods themselves, or the planets themselves. They're not gods like God. It's just they have planetary functions and they have their spirits. So in mythology, they've been called gods. To a Muslim, they would be the planets or the energies. They're angels. And if you're working with them, you get the angel's blessing. If you don't, you get the jinns or the genies doing bad things. So, okay, that's going to be it for today for this chart. And it'd be nice to get a few comments back from the person whose chart it was. We're doing these anonymously so that everyone can look at it. I will send you the chart for next week. I'll just show it to you. I think I have it here. No, it's not there. Where are we? The chart we're doing next week is a Cancer, July 5th, 69. So I'll send you these when I send you the video. Okay, thank you very much. And each day is a different window to the world. Okay, good night.